we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means, on infiltration instead of invasion, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
All right, welcome to episode 129 of the Abuse Hour. It is I, your host, Coffee Long, coming to you unsupervised, unmedicated, and an unchecked threat to society. So I don't have a whole lot to put out. I mean, there's a couple peripheral things, but I don't know if there's anything really tip-top and stunning. Some of the things I did want to hit on, though, just kind of some general observations, I guess. Oh, and then somebody had asked in the chat a while ago, which I blew off as I am wont to do, about some more reading of body language type shit, which, yeah, I can expound on that a little bit. I don't actually have it in front of me. I'm a bit of a lazy fuck, so I do have it off the top of my head, though, because I've kind of spent some time on that. In any case, so straight away, something that I had noticed lately, man, that I thought was I don't know whether you call it funny or tragic or just a head shaker or just kind of fucking stupid or what, man. But I saw this deal, and somebody I think put this in the chat as well. Some dude somewhere, and I can't remember the details because details don't especially matter, but some dude somewhere who had shot down a couple teens. Teens could be here, he thought. I hate teens. I've never been in my own driveway before. But some former Space Force sergeant had shot down a couple of teens, these young noglets that were trying to steal his Hyundai. And I guess they had been fucking with him for a while, trying to get his stuff, or I don't know, they were trying to get into his house. I don't imagine, that they would stop at just his car. I'm sure they had gotten in there once before, probably tried to get into his house, and maybe the thought process was like, maybe this guy lives by himself, he's an easy target, maybe he's home, maybe he's not, I don't know. But in any case, they got into his car, they were fucking around, so this guy produced with a firearm, got out in the driveway, chased these fuckers down, shooting, and killed one of them. Thank God, right? Smoked one of them, and the other one I think just got injured. But, the poor innocent noglets, all they were trying to do was steal Hyundai. They good boys, it's just a question of parenting, and they ain't even did nothing. But I guess this dude has been arrested, has been charged, and they're trying to bang this guy up 10 shades of ugly. Well, it's raining fucking sideways right now, I'll tell you that. Anyway, so they're jamming this guy up, and, it sucks because, my first thought, my initial impression was that, well, dumb fuck, you can't just, I don't know any state in the union where you can just chase a colored down, right, and just go a shoot in and shoot him and he back and somehow get away with it, especially, in the environment such as it is today. You can't do these kinds of things. But au contraire, I was completely unaware until I read up on it that prior to 1985, you could actually do this, and that the laws governing this action, this kind of thing of smoking somebody who's trying to steal your shit, dates back to English common law, wherein the verbiage is along the lines of, so long as you give chase, like immediately, you don't go home and think about it, you don't, as they run off, you don't go upstairs, dig out your firearm, lock and load, and then, I don't know, ask around where's they live and shit, where they stay, and then go after them. You have to give chase immediately. But in giving chase, that you can gun these fuckers down, basically. They are at your disposal, which I thought was interesting because I think the thing about this is just sort of like horse thievery in the Old West, where you'd hear about, hey, you steal a man's horse, that's a hanging offense. We hang horse thieves here. And it's not about the fucking horse, because you see this shit again and again, where these nogs will come out talking about, like, was it worth a Hyundai? You took a boy's life over a Hyundai, a young teen who was going to be a fucking architect or an astronaut or a doctor or an engineer or some shit, and he was going to be this shit. He turned his life around. He only finally met his father the other day, and he was going to be a good boy. He doing good in school. And now you take his life over what? A Hyundai? It ain't about the fucking Hyundai. It ain't about the fucking horse, right? Like, you're going to hang a man. He had a family. You're going to hang him over some swayback nag. Oh, the humanity of it all, right? It ain't about that. It's about the fact that you're depriving a fucking working man of his means of making a living. So this guy, you say what you fucking want. Like, life is hard fucking enough, dude. This guy's got to get to fucking work wherever he works. I guess he used to work at fucking Space Force, whatever the fuck that even is, right? But used to work at Space Force. Now he don't work anywhere, I guess. Now he works at fucking making license plates. But used to work at Space Force. He gets, fucking hassled by these young fucks. He ain't getting his sleep. They want to steal his fucking Hyundai. Do you think if the guy could afford something nicer, he wouldn't? The guy is probably busting his fucking ass. And now here's these two fucking dindus. They want to take his fucking Hyundai. Dude, you're lucky if all you get is shot. But instead, this is the world we fucking live in, where you're going to get this crying, this wringing of hands, this gnashing of teeth about, oh, they just some poor good boys. What the fuck is it doing to this guy? You walk out there, you got to go to fucking work. Maybe you're already on the bubble. They've had it with your shit, but they're giving you a shot, and now your fucking Hyundai is gone. Now what do you got to fucking do? Well, fuck. Now I got to figure out how to catch the bus. I got to get an Uber that I can't fucking afford. I'm on the bubble anyway. Rent's coming due, and now your Hyundai is gone. What does that do to you? You go to work wherever the fuck he works. Doesn't matter. He works at the fucking vape shop. If he works at T-Mobile, he's going to go in there. He's going to be pissy. He's going to do shit work. People are going to come in there, and they're going to be like, yeah, man, I went to get my raspberry vape or whatever, and the guy working there was a real asshole. Why do you think that is? Because he had to fucking walk like life ain't hard enough because somebody stole his fucking Hyundai. And this shit snowballs and snowballs. And at the very fucking root of it is this idea that we got to turn a blind eye to these motherfuckers who value your Hyundai over their own life. So I honestly think that maybe it's high time to go back to something along the lines of like, look, fuck stick. You steal whatever. I can't think of something that I'd be like, yeah, you take this. It's not a big deal. You're stealing somebody's livelihood. These fucking coin clippers have got it wired down to the gnat's ass where, like, this is as much as I can leave you and you're going to still be able to function. Like, you won't completely throw in the towel. You'll still get up and you'll still get out there with this feeling that, like, if I really, really bust ass, I can still get by. I can get slightly ahead if I really put my back into it. And you'll get out there and you'll fucking do it. And you'll log every fucking hour. You'll neglect your family, neglect your kids. You'll fucking let yourself go to shit. You'll get by on less sleep because you believe somehow that you're going to get slightly ahead. That's how tight they have it wired. If I tax him this much, he'll still believe it. Any more than that, and they're going to rise up. But I got him by this much. Got him by this much, guy. I can grease you for this much. So when you go and fucking rob a man, right, you're putting him in a spot where, like, fuck, dude, I was just barely getting by. Now this happens? Son of a bitch. And, dude, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, the guy isn't going to have, like, African stole my car insurance probably. I don't know what the fucking deal is exactly. I mean, I know a little bit about insurance. There was a time when I actually tried to study to become a financial advisor. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you that story in a second. It's fucking, there's a lot of dodgy shit there, but I'll tell you that story in a second. But so this situation, man, there's one dead African, which, count your blessings, right? Count your blessings. These things reproduce like fucking roaches. They're dedicated to nothing but violence and crime. They rape anything that moves, steal anything that doesn't, and then set fire to anything that resists. So just as well, right? Nothing of value was lost. But that said, man, they're coming after this guy whole hog once again. But what I really like about this is the idea that people are saying, like, you know what, fuck this, dude. I really like this meme that we shouldn't have to live like this, because we shouldn't have to live like this. Where, like, it's not bad enough that, like, you get greased for a solid half of every dime you fucking earn. Now you got to figure in, like, okay, well, I got this car. Okay, when somebody steals this car, I need to know where the nearest bus stop is. You know, when my child gets assaulted by a gang on the school bus, I need to figure out, you know, how are we going to handle. I should have a therapist on speed dial probably. Like, why do we have to fucking think of these things ahead of time? This is fucking bullshit. This is not fucking reasonable. But that's where we are. And I like that people are starting to call it out and say, like, man, we shouldn't have to live like this, because we shouldn't have to live like this. This is insanity. So back to your financial action, man. Check this shit out. So as you know, as the feds have probably deduced, I do a little consulting work here and there. I don't work for somebody else. I work for my fucking self. So good luck getting me fired. Although I've kind of had it with my shit, right? I think I'm probably on pretty thin ice with me, and if I don't clean up my act, I'm going to be packing my bags and I'll be showing me the door. But I had this situation where there were, I ain't going to get too doxy here, but just by virtue of the nature of my clientele, there was a lot of situations where I was talking to people about, like, financial issues, financial concerns, good ideas, bad ideas. Hey, you think I should invest in a barbershop or a restaurant? No, I don't think you should invest in a restaurant. I think if you want to be a barber, you should get a barber's license. I don't think you should try spending money that you saved opening your own fucking barbershop so you can, you know, like, was surprised. Here's something I don't like about small businesses. It really fucking pisses me off. I think that, and I see, like, I said something about this when I was in Portland, and I've seen this again and again and again. It pisses me off to no end. And I'll say that to a client, like, this pisses me off. Don't fucking do this. Where you get this idea in your head, where you look at a fucking job and you're thinking of just this one teeny tiny aspect of it. Like, say, bartending. I did tend bar very, very briefly after I got out. I fucking loved it. I love fucking bartending. If I could get paid, you know, if I was going to get the same paycheck no matter what, and I could be whatever the fuck job I wanted, I would be a fucking bartender. I think it's the fucking shit. I don't mind pulling mats. I don't mind, you know, clearing off the bar with the fucking little spill mats and shit, and, like, hey, here you go. This is a shot for you. Free shot for you, big man. And it's this nasty fucking product. I don't mind any of that shit. The cool shit is really cool. Like, you're the boss and the only customers are fucked up. So if you overcharged or undercharged, or, you know, I throw straight dice. But, you know, if accidents do happen, I'm actually still right. If I fuck up, I'm still actually right, because you're shithoused and I'm not. So who do you think is right in this scenario? Me. Which is a nice change, you know, from, like, hey, you know, if you fuck up on this, somebody gets their fucking fingers blown off or somebody gets shot in the chest. That's a bit to walk around with. You leave this classified material out, you're just going to go to prison, no questions asked. Oh, shit. Well, whatever you do, don't do that, right? But bartending, it's the shit. But what people will do, man, is, like, when you take a gig like that, it's like all you're thinking of is, like, you're shaking this sweet fucking drink and hot girls are cheering for you and you're getting tipped $100. I got tipped $100 one time. It was quite something. Anyway, so you're thinking of, like, just this one slim little piece of this job or this situation or this business that you're envisioning, but you fail to fucking appreciate all the other shit, right? Like, a bunch of hot girls walk in and one of them's got a fake ID, an obvious fake ID. So if this chick is a fucking cop or getting pimped by cops, you're going to be not just one out of a job, you could actually be in some trouble, right? You're going to have to deal with people throwing up. You're going to have to deal with people knocking glasses into the fucking floor. You're going to have to deal with shithoused Africans hitting on, you know, whatever, a group of moms out to celebrate somebody finishing night school. This is all shit you got to deal with. This is part of the fucking gig. It is what it fucking is. All of this shit goes with all of that shit. Right? So when I see some shit like I saw in Portland, like these fucking broads open a sandwich shop, and it's like, I don't know what you thought. Like, you thought that just your lesbian friends were going to come in here, onesie twosie throughout the day, and you were going to cluck about how awful men are and fuck Trump, and then you're going to make them a sandwich, nice and fucking simple, and then you're going to get paid and you're going to go home. It doesn't fucking work like that. Nothing fucking works like that. Everything fucking sucks, right? So I got these fucking clients, and I got to deal with these fucks with their dumbass ideas, talking about, like, maybe I should open my own barbershop. No, you fucking shouldn't. Shut the fuck up. You're not going to stand around and pretend to talk politics with all your friends and a bunch of old men who magically materialize, and you're going to laugh, and it's going to be like a fucking Ice Cube movie or whatever, one of those, what is that fucking guy, Tyler Perry or whatever, where, some guy dresses like a woman and everybody laughs, and what a great time, and it's a great way to finish out the last couple decades you got on this planet. It doesn't fucking work like that. You're going to have a bunch of other shit. You're going to have health code issues. You're going to have licensing issues. You got to actually get approved, apparently, to be a fucking barber. You can't just walk in there and do that shit because you have a friend who likes to read the newspaper. This is fucking stupid. So, anyway, back to live action. I'm looking at this situation and I'm like, I get enough of these fucking questions. Maybe I should get, like, legit qualified as a financial advisor. How hard could it fucking be? Apparently real fucking hard. For me, anyway. So, and I can't properly explain myself. Like, some shit I can get my head around real fast and real easy. Other shit, no fucking way, my friend. So, when I'm looking at all of these financial codes and these programs and all of this shit, and I'm like, dude, I can't remember one from the other. There's no fucking way. Like, I never studied harder for anything in my life than I did for this shit. And, when I go in here to test, like, I had to retest on every fucking one of these things. And at the end of the day, the deal was like, I just had to cut away. I was like, you know what, man? I am not cut out for this. I'm not going to be able to finish this fucking course. I'm sorry for wasting everybody's time. They're like, yeah, I understand. It's not for everybody. And I had to fucking go. What the fuck was I even talking about? Son of a bitch. But so anyway, there's a section of this fucking thing that covers insurance. And the deal on insurance, like, I still can't pretend that I completely know or understand about this shit because I fucking don't. I just have the general idea. But the general idea is that certain forms of insurance can serve as an investment as well as just something that pays off if you die. So I think long and short, the idea here is that you're kind of making a bet that you're going to fucking die, before you just slowly expire surrounded by kids, grandkids, friends, and colleagues and shit. That you're going to all of a sudden, like, gack, and you're going to fucking get hit by a train or a truck or what fucking ever. And there's different forms of this shit whereby you can, like it has value, it holds value. And so in that way, you can borrow against it, you can take out a loan on it or what the fuck ever, all kinds of wazoo shit. But when it comes to actually paying out, and this applies not as much to life insurance, but definitely like to home insurance, dude, this is a ripoff the likes of which you have never seen in your fucking life. If anybody works in this industry, do feel free to elaborate, but some things I can tell you that really struck me, that I really kind of held on to, was the idea that, like, for one, so you say that you've got a house, and let's say it's worth like $500,000. Let's just fucking make it nice round number. And now you've got this fucking house. It's insured for $500,000. Right off the top, there's going to be a concern called co-insurance. Yeah. And the idea here is that, like, well, yeah, it's insurance, but it's like co-insurance. So we're going to pay along with you. So, like, there's an amount you're going to pay, and there's an amount we're going to pay. So, like, well, wait, man, when I'm paying you for this shit, I'm not, like, asking you to cover part of the bill on this. Like, no, I pay all of it. You don't pay all of it. But now if your fucking house burns down, well, now, like, okay, well, yeah, you're going to pay for part of the repair, and we're going to pay for part of the repair. See? Get it? Now, that's already enough kind of fucked up. But now let's say that you got your house insured for, like, say $500,000, but over the course of you owning this place, the value of this place has gone up to, let's say, $750,000. So now it's worth $750,000. You got it insured for $500,000, and now the place fucking burns down. what's going to happen is they're going to come to you and say, well, hey, so already we're going to pay for part of this and you're going to pay for part of this. But, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. You only insured this place for 75% of the value. See, it's worth $750 here. So we're not going to pay to fucking repair a $750 or $750,000 house. We're paying to repair a $500,000 house. So that's only 75% of the value of this house. So that's all you're insured for. So when the check comes in, we're going to be talking about 75% value. So if it's going to cost, say, because you don't got to buy the land again, but if you got to fucking, it's going to cost, say $500,000 to repair this house. Okay, well, we're not going to pay part of $500,000 because you're going to pay the other part of it. What's covered is 75% of that $500,000. And then you're going to do co-insurance for the other chunk of that. So to repair your $750,000 house, you're going to end up with fucking 3-something, 4-something tops. Where the fuck's that leave you? Does that leave you with the same house you had before? Fuck no. But that's how insurance works. Ha 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 ho ho ho, right? We're so fucking clever. We got you again, Goy. So it's a fucking racket, man. And then at the end of the day, like we've seen in a lot of these deals where like a flood comes on, it's like, yeah, we can't cover all this. So fuck off. Like, we're just going to take your money and bail. Yeah, dude, we had to fucking fold up shop. It is what it is. Sorry. I'm not personally liable, Goy. Alls I do is invest in fucking retirement funds or this kind of shit. And if that comes in, then I get paid and your shit stays the same. But if I don't win, on my investment bets, well, then, if somebody hurts themselves or your house burns down at the same time, then guess who's fucked? You are. See you later. I'll be in the Bahamas if you need me. Go fuck yourself. So that was my experience with insurance, man. And I haven't had to deal too much with like actually using insurance, knock on wood. I mean, like, medical insurance, that was a fucking bad trip when I just got out because in the military, everything is like, your property, basically. So you're like the car. So you're like, hey, this car's fucked up. And like, okay, take it to a shop. And that's the end of it. You're not going to get top of the line fucking care. That's for fucking sure. But you also won't be kind of left sitting there for half your natural life because they need you to go and fight for fucking Israel. So there's that. But yeah, dude, the fucking insurance thing, it was a bad trip. And while I failed miserably at my efforts to be a financial consultant because I am not fucking wired for that shit, it did give me a good look into just how this dodgy shit plays out. Oh, and I'll tell you one more thing and this blew my fucking mind when I saw it. Like, it's gratuitous and it's very obvious, like, who runs this fucking industry, the financial industry. Because it's so fucking crooked, man. It's so incredibly fucking crooked. So here's the fucking deal. Say you've got a fucking retirement plan, right? Like, say you, I don't know, you work at some fucking job where you get a real nice fucking retirement piece of money at the end of it. You work there 30 years, whatever the fuck, and now you're going to get this nice piece of money. But when you get a nice piece of money of this size, right, you're going to get taxed out the ass on this. So you don't want to get hammered on fucking taxes when you retire, right? So what you do instead, I swear to God, this is what it's called. And I think this is the way it works. There's small details, no doubt. But check this shit out. It's called a rabbi trust, where essentially you take this fucking money, right? But because you personally are not getting this money, you're going to give it to, like, your rabbi. And he's going to dole it out to you slowly. So now it's going to get taxed at a much lower rate. So say you're going to get, I don't fucking know, like $1 million. And this $1 million is supposed to hold you over from the time you're like 65 or whatever till you fucking die. Because who knows, maybe you live to like 85, 90. You're going to be able to get by on that, fucking $1 million. Who knows at this rate, right? Probably not. But you don't want to get taxed on like, hey, you had $1 million of income this year. Stand by to get it in the ass, right? Like, just cough up, 40% of that right off the top. I'll take that. Thank you. Goodbye. So what's going to happen instead is you stand up this rabbi trust, and the money just sits like in limbo. And I don't know if it earns interest or you can invest this or exactly what or how it would work, but this is what it's fucking called. Essentially, it sits somewhere in limbo. You're not going to get taxed on it because you don't have it. Like, I don't have it. Like, not me personally. It's not in my hand. right? So instead, it's going to just sit there and get doled out to you slowly. And it's called a rabbi trust, right? So if you don't know these things, if you don't have these things, like there's all these mechanisms, then I mean, I'm not touching on even half of them. I don't know how they work. I don't know what they are. All I know is like, I've never had enough money to do any of this shit. I mean, I'm fucking broke, dude. I'm a regular person. But for people who have money, they hang on to it by employing these little mechanisms where, oh no, my money is in a life insurance fucking fund, or my money is in a rabbi trust, or it's in some other trust. Like me personally, I don't own anything. My trust owns it. My corporation owns it. All this other shit owns it. And through those mechanisms, then I live a real nice life and I don't have to pay for anything. So who does pay for it? You, middle class guy, but we already know that. And so what else is going on? I guess I just saw John Bolton's office got or some kind of nonsense. I'll tell you, man, I've heard some other people say it, and I have to agree 100%. Like if it was anybody else doing this shit, if it felt in any way even half honest, I'd look at this situation and I would say, you know what, this is good shit, man. It's nice to see. I'm so glad that Trump is handling some shit and he's putting these fuckers in their place. But you know what? I don't think that's what's happening. I honestly think that this is more like just a war between rival Jewish henchmen. Like who can serve Israel the best? I think that's where we're at on this. So John Bolton's office is getting hit. They're talking about all this business with the National Guard and like, yeah, we secured D.C. and we're going to talk about Chicago. And I just saw a map last night where like what states are going to mobilize National Guard to fight criminal activity. And it's like mostly red state. It's all red states. Which, places, there's a lot of places that are like, there's a lot of crime here, there's a lot that could be done. But these are not Chicago or New York or Illinois, for God's sake. Any of these places like this, like none of these places are being touched. So it's like, what's the fucking difference, man? Arizona, like any of these border type places, California, they're not going to do anything there. So what's the fucking point of this? This is just kind of stupid. So I look at it and I got to ask honestly, man, like, well, what exactly is the point here? And I think really, man, this has nothing to do with you or me or actual crime. This is just different factions fucking with each other. Because do I think any of these criminal types are in some way connected to some of these politicians? I wouldn't be surprised a bit. This idea like they're talking about the president of Venezuela is somehow a narco trafficker, if you say so. But is it beyond the pale? Not completely. Does that guy get a little taste? Yeah, quite possibly. It's probably 100 cutouts removed. But, I could see that happening. But who would think to look for something like that in fucking Venezuela? Yeah, who would think like, that Maduro, I'll just fucking bet. The only people who could know this are probably the people that are involved in the same kind of shit themselves. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of any of this bullshit. I just know that, like, what's your quality of life like? Mine ain't improving through any of this shit. What are they talking about? Removing illegals? Like, apparently they haven't even published an actual number of how many people they've legit removed or sent back. Because the number is so fucking low, it's embarrassing. So it's like, no, don't worry about it. We're working on it. We're working on it. Don't worry. Who gives a shit? Like, your dollar doesn't go farther. Your neighborhoods aren't safer. Your jobs aren't more available. So what the fuck am I getting out of this? But I'll tell you who is getting out of this is these Israelis. Yes, I guess there was just some talk with Ghislaine Maxwell, who insists that, no, every time I ever met Trump, he was a complete gentleman, whenever I had talked, absolute gentleman. And then also, I guess, according to an article in Zero Hedge, that admits that her father was an intelligence asset. Well, no shit. But let's, again, like I mentioned this before, and again, kind of highlights the importance of this. There is a difference between officer and asset. If you say asset, We're talking about like, well, I'm not, a decision maker. I'm not any kind of a shot caller. I'm not any kind of a string puller. I'm just a guy out here. Like, I help out where I can. It is something you would think of as like a cutout or a dead drop kind of a thing, where like a guy's gonna go, he's gonna leave a package. You just take the package. A guy shows up with you. What the fuck ever. This half of a dollar bill says these fucking words. The stag in the forest runs free. You don't know who he is. You know what the fucking package is. You don't know nothing. When a guy shows up, you just give him this. That's all you do. That's all you know. That is an asset. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They're not involved in decision making. They're not involved in the details. All they do is this one small fucking thing. That's an asset. That ain't fucking Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell was anyway, a big wheel, a fucking shot caller, a heavy hitter, until he fucked around with the money and ended up face down over the side of his yacht. Until then, this guy was a fucking heavy hitter. So this business of like, oh, he was an intelligence asset. Yeah, yeah, she admits it. Well, no shit. You admit something everybody already fucking knows. But for my money, this is just more government-facilitated watering down of what is actually going on here. Like, this motherfucker was neck deep. His daughter was fucking neck deep. And now wants to come and say, like, well, yeah, Donald Trump, he was always a fucking gentleman every time I'd ever met him. Like why would a foreign intelligence officer ever lie? To you? To your press? Like, obviously they're going to fucking lie, but I guess the Uno reverse here, or like the Uno double down, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, is that the press works for the same people that intelligence officer represents. So the only people they're really bullshitting is you. But what I think is kind of the interesting takeaway here is that, when we talk about, or you hear people talk about, like, hey, you guys are fucking bullshit. You're not fucking doing anything. You're just talking. You're just this. You're just that. Well, hold the fuck on here, because apparently what you think and what you say about what you hear matters a great fucking deal to these people. They really fucking care about, well, what do you think about Robert Maxwell? What do you think about Ghislaine Maxwell? What do you think about whether the president was or wasn't involved in any of this shit? Apparently what you think matters a great fucking deal. Because if a whole shit ton of you ever got the idea that, like, you know what, these fuckers are all on the same side, and they're using us like fucking cattle to make themselves rich, to fight their fights for them, if you ever figured this shit out, how fast could they be gone? They could be gone in an afternoon. But it would take everybody saying, you know what, yeah, I think so. But what I think is interesting is that it's like it's picking up speed. Like, every time a young person, gets a little awareness, they grow up a little, they start looking around and going, hey, this world I'm inheriting is pretty fucked up. And every time one of these fucking boomers is like, as long as they come legally, you could give my home to a Puerto Rican woman as long as she's here legally. And then checks out, and his kids are standing there like, well, fuck. Do we really have to do it? And the Jewish lawyer is over there like, that was his last will and testament. You heard what he said, Goy. Get out. Get your shit. Out you go. I have a Puerto Rican all lined up. So that's kind of where we're at, man. It is picking up speed. And I saw this thing with old Benjamin Nutt and Yahoo. And this fucking guy, man, like, this motherfucker must lay awake nights genuinely losing sleep, man, because he's talking about, like, oh, it's the misinformation. And the algorithms, we have to do something about the algorithms and the misinformation. Bro, that ain't going to fucking help you, because all roads lead to Shlomo, and you are fucking it, guy. And I don't know how this train don't get turned around, man. This train ain't fucking turning around. I don't think you can see this shit and then unsee it. So I'm seeing just now that there's, I guess, officially a declared famine in Gaza, because Israel is moving to occupy Gaza City once again. And at this point, they're actively recruiting foreigners, saying, hey, if you want to serve in the Israeli army, I don't know what you would ever presumably get out of that. I mean, I have no fucking clue. Like, what would you get out of that? They're not going to give you citizenship. They're probably not going to pay you well. There's probably going to be all kinds of bullshit about, oh, we'll pay you for this, 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 and this. And if you get in a gunfight, we'll pay that. And if that happens, we'll pay that. If you get injured, we'll pay this. I mean, imagine the red tape, dude. Well, this didn't. The guy shot towards you. He didn't shoot actually at you. I mean, did you get shot? I don't think you did. So I don't think this really qualifies. And did you get injured? Yeah, but were you injured already? Or, I don't know. I'd have to see some medical documentation. We'll have our doctors look you over and determine if that bullet hole in your leg, whether you had that earlier or whether that was actually, because we want to take care of you. If you were injured on our watch, we want to take care of you, of course, Goy. But we have to be certain, right? That's just due diligence, Goy. You know the way it is. So I can imagine that being a real fucking nightmare, man. But I guess they've been having some real issues recruiting because, obviously these sidelocks type crews, they don't, they want all the benefits. They want that nice real estate. They want that beachfront. But they definitely don't want to get out there and fight. And, I mean, dude, I've said 100 times already, I don't know if you've seen any of these fuckers. Like, they cannot fight. They fucking suck. And, I mean, once again, I understand it. Like, once the bullets start flying, things do get weird. But, I mean, just some really amateur night type shit. The grouping up, the bunching up thing, I mean, that is just begging to get shot. But they do it, man. It's like it's in the DNA to scurry. They scurry, they run, they huddle, they crouch. They just get smoked. They suck. But, whatever. I'm not going to fucking help them. I do remember talking to one guy. There was a guy that I knew, another former operator, and he was talking about, a lot of these Jewish communities, like in the States, like they're worried, bro. So, what if we taught them like some basic, home awareness, close quarters awareness, protect yourself, this kind. Because, I mean, somebody's going to teach them, bro. I mean, we could teach them. They'd probably pay. I'm like, one, they probably won't pay as much as you think they will. And two, what's the bigger payment? The cash in my hand, which, will leave my hand eventually, or always knowing that I didn't help these people? That's the real payoff, don't you think? I mean, the real Reich is the friends we made along the way. That's what I think. So wherever I can trip these fucks up, even if it's just, spitting in their Diet Coke, in their yellow cap kosher Coke, if there's any way that I can cheese dick these people at any turn, however slight, I want to fucking take it. Like, dude, I see them in the airport once in a while, especially you fly through the East Coast or something, Northeast especially, you'll see these fucks in the airports. And dude, anything. Call it petty. It is petty. I'm petty. I'm the pettiest. The pettiest of white nationalists. But that's me. It's how I get down. But if I see them, I will walk right towards them and make them move. I will accidentally clack their fucking luggage. Oh, sorry. Or not say any fucking thing. But just cheese dick them. Kind of nudge them out of the doorway. Getting on or off the train to the next fucking gates or whatever. Anything to fucking cheese dick these people, man. I mean, I can't throw them down a fucking well just now, but anything I can do to weasel dick these people and make them just a little bit uncomfortable and let them fucking know, man, that like I fucking see you and I don't fucking like you and nobody does. And what I think is pretty great is that, I mean, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer all the time, so I know that like if I'm thinking these things, that there's 1,000 other people thinking these things and they're doing the same shit. So at some point, I got to feel like one of these motherfuckers or a stack of them, they're going to start seeing it and they're going to start saying like, you know what, man, like these people don't want me here. Like they are not buying my shit any longer. I gotta probably head for the hills. I got to probably get the fuck out of here. And at this point, where can you fucking go? You can go right the fuck back to Israel. Get your fucking ass out of here. You got a homeland now. No sense hopping over borders looking for sanctuary. Get the fuck out of here. And then good luck getting recruited to get smoked by some dude in flip-flops carrying Grandpa's AK, cooking up some homemade shit to stick on the side of your Jeep that was funded by Americans. Kaboom! See you later, shithead. Anyway, so I guess to wrap it up, man, I'll hit on some of these body language type ideas. I mean, this isn't, of any great importance, immediately, but it is nice shit to have, and it will serve you well in almost any setting. I mean, whether you're trying to, buy a car or talk to a cop or talk to some woman at a bar or any of these things, knowing what a person is thinking in comparison to what they're presenting you, this is always, it's always a huge help. And I can't remember. I think there was a movie a few years ago, and I actually did like a quick review of this thing. But it was a deal with Bradley Cooper in it, and it's based on a book from, I want to say, like the 20s or something like that, where he ends up being a carny, and he ends up being this guy that pretends to be a mystic and starts, instead of just being a carnival act, he starts turning it into where he's going to do, like, pretend to be in touch with the spirit world, receiving a message from the beyond. It's for you. It's someone whose name starts with a M-M-N. Negro? Is it that? So he's doing this thing and weasel-dicking people out of money. I don't want to ruin it for you, man. I can't remember the name of it, or I would. I'll try to put it in the fucking description. Anyway, one of the biggest takeaways I got out of this, what I thought was cool, was that it's based on a book. So this was written down a long time ago. It's not some Hebrew nonsense someone came up with yesterday. But he's talking about, like, how do you look at people and figure things out initially? And, like, the simple stepping off point, I think, is that in the words of this story, people want to be found out. That's what they want. They want you to figure out what they're about. And I think that applies. It applies across the board, man. If you look at somebody, look at anywhere you go today, man. Go someplace. You go to a gym, go to a restaurant, get a coffee, do whatever the fuck you do. But in whatever you're doing, pick a person and look at that person and think to yourself, they want me to find out about them. There's something they're trying to tell me about themselves. And people do this, man. Look at, like, if you look at school kids, not too closely, don't hang out outside schools. People will ask questions. But, I mean, a rudimentary version of this, it's like what people learn very young, is, you got to set yourself apart, right? How are people going to know what you're about if you don't tell them? So when you look at kids, they do this. They do this through, like, their sneakers, their clothes, their hairstyle, their accoutrements, right? Like their book bag or whatever. Any of this shit. This is how they differentiate between themselves. Like, hey, here's what I'm about. Here's my thing. And with a kid, it's no problem. Like, you can just say, I like this, I like turtles, whatever everybody expects out of you. As you get older, people start to understand, like, nobody wants to hear about your fucking turtles, dude. But that desire remains for people to understand about you, to be, if you will, found out. So if you look at a person, just take a fucking look. Like, don't just look at, like, they're wearing a shirt, they got their hair up, down, short, long, whatever. They're wearing sneakers, wearing boots, whatever, wearing a ring, wearing a bracelet. Don't just look at that. Look at what it fucking is. Like, what is it? Where did it come from? What is it attached to, right? So if I said, like, Carhartt jacket and what are those stupid fucking work boots? Those, I can't fucking remember. Timberland, okay? So set of Timberland boots, Carhartt jacket, a hat with some sparkly shit on it, and the bill of the hat, like, pressed down flat. Who's wearing this? Who do you fucking think? You know who's wearing this. And obviously, like, the Negro IQ question here comes into play because, yeah, they want you to know who they are, but it's this really ham-fisted, like, just wear a big fucking shirt that says pimp, as they usually do. Big gold chain. I have money. I have whores. Women want me. It's ham-fisted and stupid, but it's a good place to start, right? So now move along. Like, even like a waiter or a waitress in a really high-end restaurant, if you look at them, they're still going to tell you something about themselves. Look at their watch. Look at the glasses they're wearing. What does their haircut look like? Women cannot help themselves with this shit. Especially, like, lesbian women, they cannot fucking help themselves. They're going to wear these fucking day-glow, wacky-ass, one-off fucking prescription glasses. There's going to be some little piece of hair that's like, it's a different color. Oh, look, I'm peeking out at you. Yeah, I fucking get it, man. All right. But this is how people tell you about themselves. Moving on from there, then, there's, like, the obvious shit that people are telling you, and then there's the other shit that they cannot help. A lot of this shit is rooted in just an evolutionary type sense. So when people talk or they act a kind of a way, think of it like you're talking to a caveman, right? Like somebody that's not sure of their safety, very basic instinct, like, all I want is my mommy or my wife and my kids and my cave. I'm not sure what you are. I'm not sure if you're going to attack me or poke me with a stick. If you think of it that way, and then you watch what people say or what people do, a lot of this will reverse back to, like, this evolutionary survival type thing. So where you see like a leaning in or a leaning back, or if you're like in, say, an office setting, like a pointing of the feet away from you, like I want to make a run for the door. If you look at different interview rooms, like if you ever watch any of these, like what do you call it, like police interrogation type things, there'll be different setups based on different approaches. Where like in one case, the table might be between the suspect, right, the person being interrogated, and the door. So in this case, you've got like the person doing the interrogating that would position themselves behind the table, across from the subject or the suspect, whatever, and between them and the door. What this communicates is that you cannot get to that door except by going through me. And the only way you get through me is by answering these questions. So it's a very intimidating posture. Another version might be where the door is over here to the side, and this person is like the table is kind of pointed like sideways at the door. So it's almost like, hey, you could get up and leave if you want. You don't have to stay here. I don't want to make you feel, oppressed or anything. This is for another kind of a person that's like they feel like they might still get away with it. So if I stay here, right, I can still talk this guy out of this. He'll believe me. Other things here is the way that people lean in or they lean back. You got to think of the words that you're saying as like a physical object. It's like an actual thing. Where they're leaning in, they're very into it, right? They're leaning back like, I don't like this. Or when somebody speaks, like they cover their mouth because they don't want, they want you to have the information, but they don't want you knowing that it's them saying it, because it doesn't, it's probably bullshit is what it is, right? The crossed arms, the crossed legs. A lot of this here, like you'll see, this is like a Mark I motto thing where people are like, if somebody's, arms are crossed and they're very closed off. They don't want anything to do with you. Something you got to keep in mind with a lot of this shit is it can be the situation as well. Like imagine you didn't do shit and now you get rolled up by the cops and you're getting questioned on like, what were you doing in that liquor store? How did that guy end up with a knife sticking out of his, side of his head or some shit? And you don't know shit about it because you weren't honestly even fucking there. All right, so how do you feel now? Like, what the fuck? Like, you should be quite taken aback. In a situation like this, it's very reasonable to be very antsy-pantsy, looking around, leaning in, or leaning back. They're like, what the fuck? Get me out of here. Arms totally crossed. Like, bro, I'm not fucking stepping in the middle of this. I don't know shit about it. Fuck you. That's a very reasonable response. So to say that, like, oh, somebody's arms were crossed, or maybe it's just fucking cold. Because sometimes, especially if you look at like a facility somewhere where somebody's getting interrogated for like a criminal intent type thing, maybe there's wires crossed where like one guy's like, fuck this guy, I'm going to turn the AC way up and freeze this motherfucker and make him feel like shit, and he's going to fucking talk. And the next guy walks in and is like, hey, bro, can I get you something? Get you a little ice water or something? The guy's sitting in there with his arms and legs crossed, chattering his fucking teeth off. And now you're thinking like, oh, he's got something to hide. You see how his arms were? It doesn't fucking work like that. You got to figure in like the environment as well. The person could be completely nervous for a very reasonable reason. All right, sorry, man. Had to step away and get a beating, so now I'm pulling myself together and I can finish my thought here. So I guess what we're really aiming at with this idea of body language and discussing this shit is like, how do I put this shit together? How do I take advantage of it? And for my money, I think the first thing is, one, looking at, well, what is this person presenting you? Like, right? They want to be found out, if you will. Look at them, figure out who you're dealing with first. Second, what are you trying to get to here? Are you trying to, arrive at a price, get some girl's phone number, get some guy not to hassle you, get some cop to not write you a ticket, what the fuck ever. What are you trying to do? And then third, what do you have to work with here? So this is kind of how do you say, like the gray area? But the way I kind of think of this is like you could look at any number of things, I think, especially political wise. I think, I think like this immigration thing really, where they're talking about like, look, there's people that have showed up in this country and they're here illegally. This is a legal definition. You're not supposed to fucking be here. And yet somehow when somebody says, yeah, we're going to get these people out of here, yet somehow this is seen through the lens of being a bad thing. So this is kind of the same thing. Like you've got, what is the situation? But now how can I look at this in a little different way that helps steer them back towards what I hope to achieve here. So when you're talking about, I don't know what, like say like a job interview, right? Instead of just saying that I'm qualified, I should get this fucking job, look at the person you're talking to. Look at the office you're in, assuming it's their office, not some neutral fucking space. Or look at the company as a whole. Look at how they're dressed. Listen to the words they use. Listen to the way they talk. And then tailor your message. Where instead of like, I'm the best person for this job, I work hard, I know what I'm fucking doing here, I have all the quals. If it's soul brother like no other that you're talking to, don't talk about that shit. He doesn't care about that shit. Talk about how cool you are, how you would really add to the atmosphere, this kind of thing. The words that they use, the things that they understand, the things that they value. If you're talking to some woman, I don't know, talk about like, I've always had a thing for other men and I value equality and I want to be a part of an effective team and I really enjoy the feedback and then use the fucking buzzwords, right? But look at the person that like fucking around aside, looking at the person that you're talking to. What messages are they sending you? What messages are they willing to get back? Because if you just walk in there like a white man and say, dude, I have the quals, I know what I'm doing, I will bust ass in here, that means almost nothing to them. So in the same way, whether it's trying to get a date, trying to talk your way out of a ticket, fucking whatever, man, get somebody to let you have cuts in line. What are they showing you? Who are they? What's going to resonate with them? And act accordingly. In the physical sense, you can kind of tell. Oh, so I'm like eating gummy bears in your ear. I love fucking gummy bears. I love candy, dude. I can't explain myself. It's not reasonable. I don't know what it is, doc. The pounds ain't coming off. Anyway, so looking at the physical side of this, you can kind of gauge your progress, and it's like especially with women, you will notice this. Like as you speak to them, like a decent looking woman is used to being pitched, right? I think it was like one of these Afro comedians, like Chris Rock or some shit maybe, said something about like a woman gets offered dick like 90 times a day, right? Like, hey, can I help you with that? Hey, how you doing? How's your day? All right, take it easy. Yeah, I like your fucking shirt, skirt, bag, what the fuck ever, right? They're getting offered something 90 times a fucking day. So as soon as you say something to a woman, even if it's like, hey, you still got the fucking gas pump attached to your car because you drove off with it still in there like a fucking retard, right? They're not trying to hear it, all right? The first thing they're going to say is like, I have a boyfriend, leave me alone. Like, okay, that's great, but look, what's happening over here, right? So they're getting talked to like 90 times a day. It's like the body language there, you could tell right away, like what you can expect is that over the shoulder, like, oh yeah, like I'm actually going this way, but you're talking to me and you're kind of holding me back. So I'm just going to like, unless there really is a gas pump hanging out of my car, I'm going to keep moving this way as you talking this talking over the shoulder shit, right? That says like, I'm not into this shit. What you can tell then is if you're making any kind of headway, right? Like she's vain and wants to be complimented, or you're telling her that, yeah, your thing's stuck in the fucking gas tank and I can help you get it out. Now you're going to see her like turn and face back towards you. Anybody does this. Normal people do this. Women are just really pronounced with it because they want to send that message. Like when they don't want to be bothered, they really work hard to send that message of like, I'm not engaging with you. So the idea really is like to lookers on, to someone watching and seeing. Nobody's going to look at that situation and say like, oh, those two are people who know each other and are having a conversation. She wants to make sure there's no ambiguity, that you're not, this is not an us, this is not a we, this is some guy talking to me as I'm trying to go this fucking way. For you looking, if it's not an over-the-shoulder thing, the easy answer here is like look at someone's feet. And again, women always very pronounced with this, but this works with everyone. The feet that are like pointed at you, like that's where you're going, right? If it's pointed right at you, this is the person they're talking to, you, right? And if you're not interested and they're pointed over there, now I'm like, I'm going over here, man. I'm not trying to hear this shit. As you speak to somebody, you'll notice like their body might turn towards you, open up, like a more relaxed posture. Like in this case, like where the arms aren't crossed in front, like, all right, now what the fuck do you want? Right? Might be opened up, like more relaxed, pointed right at you, and oh yeah, okay. And you're going to get responses that are more than like one word, yes, no, I'm fine, whatever, this kind of shit. They could just tell you right away, like, this is a waste of your fucking time. Just break it off, go somewhere else, or, whatever, take a different approach. If, say it's an interview or something, take a different approach because what you're doing is not working. But all these little things, you'll notice people doing it. And again, you kind of, I would say calibrate. I think it's like a pickup artist word, the calibration thing. Yeah, like you got to get used to it. And like at first you'll feel clunky, and then but again, like you have to practice. You have to talk to actual people. You can't just read about this shit. You just go talk to who the fuck ever. Like most of the people that you encounter, you'll never see again in your whole life. So just talk to who the fuck ever. It doesn't matter if this is something that you want to learn to do, but you'll notice these things of like the leaning in, the leaning out, the open posture, the closed posture, the pointed right at you, the pointed away from you, how these things change based on the information you present, the way that you interact. And then some of the little things that happen throughout, like this could be like the uncertainties, the covering the mouth, the big open ha-ha smile, the grooming thing. This again is like, it's a big thing with women, but it can happen with men when they talk to somebody that is, like, you already know that this is somebody that's, a little higher on the food chain than you. So if you're the Uber guy and now like the fucking CEO of some giant fucking organization steps into the lobby and is like, who the hell's this guy? What's he doing here? There's going to be some grooming that happens where like, oh, let me like straighten my shit out. Maybe let me stand up a little straighter, adjust the way I'm standing so I don't look like a schnook, right? There's going to be some grooming there. And if you watch, you'll notice these things. So again, if somebody's really interested in this kind of shit, there's probably a shit ton of like YouTube videos and what the hell have you that can give you some more detailed stuff on the talking about the guarding, like the closed posture thing. This is something, again, like thinking of it in an evolutionary sense. This is like a self-protective type thing. Like when somebody covers their vital organs or like hunches their back a little bit. This is like, I'm protecting myself. I don't know what might happen here. But when it's like open, relaxed, exposed, now it's, now you're on agreeable terms. But something that this is good for is when you take a kind of an aggressive posture in dealing with somebody. This is, even somebody that's like supposed to be interviewing you or they're supposed to be in a superior position, you can blow yourself out of the water by going a little too hard and they kind of like close up and like, oh, I'm fucking this up. You need to reel it back, maybe dish out some compliments, make some observations about them, ask their opinion on some shit. And now you might see them open back up again. And now you're back where you need to be. Like, again, calibrate, right? Like find that sweet spot. And it's different with every person. It's different for every person, like not just the people you're talking to, but you personally. Like, again, if you're one of these ridiculous handsome Dan motherfuckers, a woman will suffer slings and arrows, right? Or people will they'll automatically assume like this guy must have his shit together. Look at him. He's well groomed, well put together. Like this guy he's all right. I want people looking at me and saying, oh, those two, they know each other. I want to be seen next to this guy. On the other hand, you might be talking to like the sharpest guy on the fucking face of the earth, but if he looks like a schlub, you're like, I don't know, man. I don't want people thinking that I know this dude. Like this guy he's draining my aura. I don't want that, right? So again, like you can look into this stuff, man, see what you think. But dude, I swear the pickup artist shit is gold for this stuff. It really is. Like these dudes didn't horse around. Like they went whole fucking hog and got out there and like, this is what works. This is what doesn't. So while I don't engage in that kind of shit anymore, dude, it's the information is extremely useful. Apart from that, man, I'm gonna roll out here in a little bit, dude. I got into it when I was rolling out from getting a beating, and I was talking to somebody about fucking Chick-Fil-A, and this woman piped up about Chick-Fil-A, they support conversion therapy, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And this chick is motherfucking Chick-Fil-A because they support like these allegedly, I don't know nothing about it. I don't know nothing about Chick-Fil-A or gays or treatment of gays or any of that shit. But this woman's telling me about like, this deal where they send these gays to camps and then it's supposed to ungay them, right? Like to pray the gay away or some kind of shit. And I'm like, I don't know or care. Yeah, but that doesn't work. And this, it's wrong and it's bad. And I'm like, dude, I don't know or care. And it got me thinking though, man, that like, how fucking silly are you? Like one, who gives a fuck, right? Because if somebody decides, because as far as I know, nobody's ever been deliberately like you're going to gay camp and that's the news, mister. Like, I don't think that happens. It's like go to war or go to jail, right? I don't think it happens for like, stop sucking dick or else you're going to this fucking camp and off you go. You're in this camp now. But I'm guessing that if somebody went to one of these things, it's because they got this fucking predilection for cock or whatever, that they're like, I need to not engage in this shit no more. And why, if somebody wanted to make that decision, like, why would you not fucking support that? And I said this to her. I'm like, look, man, this you're talking here. This is not like just I like coffee or I like tea, right? You're talking about a lifestyle that is replete with negative outcomes. You're talking about increased disease, increased drug use, increased promiscuity, shorter lifespan, more domestic violence, all of this shit at significantly higher rates following this lifestyle. So if somebody says, dude, I don't want to be part of this shit no more, like I got this urge for whatever reason, whether biological or inherited because you got interfered with for whatever reason, somebody says, dude, I don't want to be part of this no more. Why would you motherfuck that? Why would you be like, I don't support this shit at all? You're happier where like somebody's doing this shit. I mean, if you got a thing with like alcohol or candy, right, and you're a fat fuck, if you got an issue with any of these things could be like, yeah, I booze once in a while. Yeah, I eat a handful of candy. But when it gets out of hand, you're like, it's negative for me. It's a no-go. Or like Asian bar girls, dude. Anybody that's ever been in the military and you've ever been anywhere near, I mean, you don't even have to be in Asia. You could be any fucking where. If you've left the U.S., you have probably encountered in some form or another an Asian bar girl. And while you don't have to every time be like, you whore, get away from me. Get thee behind me, prostitute. You don't have to be like that. Those broads are suffering too. They probably don't want to be fucking somebody for rent money. I can't speak specifically to that, but probably some are all right with it. I don't fucking know. I don't interview them. I don't care. It's not my fucking problem, right? But what is universally despised is the military dude that bags one of them up and brings them back to the States to play house. Like, don't act like this shit is normal. Some cats go over here, they do what they're going to fucking do. Okay, that's your little hang up, right? I like boozing, I like candy, I eat like shit sometimes. Okay, should I do that? Probably not, but I do it fucking anyway sometimes because I dig it. Somebody wants to go over there, you want to be a degenerate fuck, go over there and fucking do it. Keep it the fuck away from me. Even to that extent, I'd say, like, no, obviously you can't be trusted because that lifestyle, along with the shit that you do, it seems to go hand in hand with, hey, I need some time alone with your kids. No, motherfucker. That's not happening either. But in a purely academic sense, you gonna do that shit, do it the fuck over there. Do it in your little secret fucking clubs, in your secret fucking bars, with your secret little fag handshakes. Do it the fuck over there. Do not come to me with like, oh, no, this lifestyle is every bit as valid as yours. No, motherfucker, it is not. It's like some guy with a fucking bar girl showing up at the neighborhood barbecue talking about, well, she's my woman and my relationship is every bit as valid as yours. No, it's not, because this chick will blow me for $20. It's unsatisfactory. You're lying to yourself. So, I mean, when you talk about CHIK-FiL-A, now it's like, what? You're going to say, like, no, don't go get a chicken sandwich because it's mean to dudes who like dick? I don't fucking care. While at the same time, you're going to look at the state of your own country and be like, oh, no, that's all right. That's all right, dude. I'll look at some Hollywood product. I'll watch some shit produced by child rapists. I'll vote for fucking degeneracy all day and night, but I won't get a chicken sandwich. You're fucking lying. This is not about the right or wrong or the fucking degeneracy or the better society or any of that shit. This is about you getting attention for yourself. I didn't say that to her, but I think we both knew it. So I left her $20 and then I took off. I'm kidding. Not really. I didn't pay her anything. Anyway, I think that's about as much as I can stand. You probably had your fill, man. So, hey, leave this shit where somebody can find it. Once again, shout out to Above Time Coffee. It's a white product made by white people for white people. They don't pay me. I just shill for them because it's good stuff. Get your Above Time Coffee at AboveTimeCoffee.com. Put it in a cup, put it in your mouth. It's for you. And until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon, keep your neck out of the noose. I have been Coffee. These are my takes.